Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Born John Paul Roth of Edmond, Oklahoma, excuse me, Christmas Eve in some year long past. John Paul Roth. Sounds like a pretty good name, but John Paul was not to be. Born in a time when having a child out of wedlock brought great shame and humiliation to the family. My future could have been in grave peril. However, as previously arranged, my mother graciously and wisely presented me to a young, barren Baptist family from Fort Worth, Texas. Peril removed. Texas, what a place. Ann Richards, former governor, once said, "You can always tell a Texan. They're not after your money, your body, or your time." My new dad was a veteran of World War II who flew 62 combat missions when only 25 were required. My mother was a housewife. I used to sit on the front steps and wait for my dad to get home in the afternoon because I knew that whatever time he had before dinner was all mine. Oh. He taught me to ride a bike, pitch, swing a bat, catch the long pass. He even tried his best to teach me to play golf. I just never got the hang of that one. My parents taught me to earn, save, and invest money. Not for the love of money, but for the money of love. That's the money required to provide the welfare to family and self without ever having to rely on assistance from charity or state. Dad taught me to fly an airplane, but I wanted to fly choppers. I also wanted to go to college and pay my own way, so I enlisted in the service. Poor vision kept me from flying. I was sure I was going to be a nun, but in the last weeks of my training, the Russian army amassed troops on the Czechoslovakian border for their annual training event, but for some unknown reason that year they were not going home on schedule. So my class and several others were diverted to Germany as potential reinforcements. I enjoyed Army life. I especially enjoyed Germany. But after 10 years in the Army, I decided to get out and go to college, a lifelong goal. I enrolled in a pre-engineering program at Seminole Community College and began a new journey. One day I was sitting in the physics lab with my physics partner, also a recent veteran, and this young woman walks in from behind us, walks down to the front of the lab, picks up her books, goes right out the door. She had long, straight, auburn hair to her waist. She wore green pants and a dark printed blouse. My lab partner and I just looked at each other. He laughed and said, "You don't stand a chance." A year and a half later, the redhead and I were married. He was my best man. My new bride graduated from UCF with an accounting degree and a minor in computer science. She is absolutely brilliant. I graduated with a degree in engineering. My first job out of college took us to Columbus, Ohio, which we now refer to as our 3 years in exile. Over the years, I've migrated from engineering to computer programming. Programming is my favorite pastime. I also enjoy spending time helping my wife in her business. I set up her network, her website, her software. But most of all, I'm very interested in her method of money management. She manipulates investments and manages money with uncanny results. She helps her clients achieve financial success and has brought some back from financial ruin. I use those calculations in programming classes I teach at Seminole State in an attempt to help others achieve financial independence. It's not just about how much you earn, but how well you manage what you keep. You're always welcome to visit us at Lake Mary Wealth Management on Lake Mary Boulevard. Come on by, we'll do lunch. My values are simple. Economically, I believe in Adam Smith's description of the invisible hand from his book, The Theory of moral sentiments. Politically, I believe the government has overstepped its bounds in the life of the American population, and that a national budget that is 60 to 70% dedicated to welfare is completely contrary to the original American idea. As a Christian, on behalf of my 4 children, 15 grandchildren,
Wow.
and because of how I entered this world, I'm outraged by Roe versus Wade. I believe that God creates all men equal, though some forfeit their stature through their own deeds. These are some of my basic beliefs. I spent 10 years in military service to defend the right to openly express my views, but also to defend your right to disagree. John Paul couldn't be with us this afternoon, but I'm honored to be here in his stead. Mr. President.